Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Monday my dudes. New beginning, new week and a new settlement which Ukrainians are liberating. If we look at this map we're gonna see a settlement called Myrna. Now this is deep into red territory, Russian occupied territory. This area is on the northern side of Pokrovsk, the main Russian assault axis. How come Ukrainians are in Myrna? How is it possible? Well, it's the Russians actually who are claiming this. Russian military bloggers, Telegram channels are in panic mode saying that Ukrainians have penetrated 4 kilometers into their controlled territory. See, this area right here you can see on the screen in the north, this was the Pokrovsk breakthrough which was really dangerous for the Ukrainians until they stabilized it with the first Azov Corps. But now Ukrainians have counter-attacked from another location here. And if the Russian rumors, which they themselves spread, are true, then if Ukrainians are able to penetrate even further north or east, this whole contingent here could face surroundment. Now in this war we don't really see a lot of surroundments, or we have seen almost none of them, since there are no really fast movements of troops. But truly, if Ukrainians would be able to push 4-5 clicks further north, this Russian contingent here, about a few thousand troops, would be surrounded. It's not only Russian Telegram chatter, it's also videos. There are troops in that not yet pocket, but potential Russian pocket in the future. A Russian soldier from the 5th Separate Motor Rifle Brigade complains about the difficult situation near Myrna, the settlement we just talked about, which is, deep inside Russian-controlled territory on the front line. I quote what they say here, you can watch the video. There were only 2 of us left from the group. We asked the commander to let us retreat, but he refused. He said if we roll back, he'll reset us himself. Hey, reset. That's a nice way to say that. I said knocked out cold or sleeping with the fishes. I'm gonna have to say reset from now on. Thank you, Russian soldier. We turned off the radio, threw away the machine guns and decided the only option left is to surrender. We are alive, not killed, not wounded, but we have no choice anymore. And these guys, they do not look happy. Red light during the night, of course. They are somewhere in the northern areas from Pokrovsk, in the Russian-controlled areas, in no man's land, of course, because their commander threatened to reset them. So these are all rumors here. Russian Telegram chatter that Ukrainians have penetrated through their defensive lines. You can see it on this map also, into Myrna. Time will tell if this is true, but if it is true, then it's truly a wow development. Just to give you the bigger picture of what we're actually talking about here, this is Pokrovsk, the city that Russians want to surround, the city that Russians want to take right now. This here was a Pokrovsk breakthrough, and now Ukrainians have counterattacked from Nova Ekonomichne. Nova is new, Ekonomichne is like economic, so this is new economic. This village is called New Economic. So, wonderful name for a village, and a wonderful name for Ukrainians to counterattack, and supposedly they have reached Myrna, this settlement right here, and if they are able to push northeast, then this Russian contingent, not so good, they might be reset, as the Russian commanders put it. My friends, have you ever wanted to make videos but don't know how to get started? Well, it is not an issue anymore, thanks to InVideo AI. It is an innovative tool that takes video creation to the next level. With InVideo AI, you don't need editing skills, expensive software, or a production team. You simply start by typing in a prompt. This will directly give you the first cut of your video in a few minutes. For example, this prompt. Make me a 1-minute YouTube video on how a massive tsunami destroys a Russian naval base. Use hyper-realistic generated footage.
The aftermath is devastating. The once bustling naval base now lies in ruins.
With rescue efforts frantically underway.
From there on, you can fine-tune your video and edit it by using simple text-based commands via the edit command box. just type in whatever you'd like to change, like start the video with a fast-paced montage with visuals of blasts and make the audio more impactful. This is insane, because you would never have to see or interact with the video timeline again, and you can actually edit your videos using just text commands. InVideo AI is the creative partner you're always wanted. It does the heavy lifting, so you can stay in the director's seat and focus entirely on your vision. You can try InVideo AI for free via the link in the description below. This will save you hundreds of dollars that you would otherwise spend on editing, animating, and other production costs. Thank you InVideo AI for sponsoring today's video. My friends, there was an exchange of Russian and Ukrainian POWs. 146 were exchanged back to Russia. At least these are the Russian POWs who surrendered, were taken a prisoner into Ukraine and now exchanged back. Surrender in Russia is looked upon really badly. So if Ukrainians get back home, they are heroes. A lot of them want to join back with the army. A lot of them will never fall into Russian prisoners again because they know what it means now. But these Russian guys, they don't really want to join the army, but they will. All of them will. They will be pushed back to the front lines immediately. We've seen plenty of videos of some of these guys getting off the buses in Russia with crutches and limping. And in a few weeks, they get the letters from the enlistment officers that they have to go back to the front immediately. And look at how happy they are here. Not for long, my friends, not for long. There are some specific soldiers who have done this circuit for 2 times already. Like exchanged back to Russia, went to the front, surrendered again, and exchanged back to Russia again. So this is like a roller coaster for some guys. Although there are really few of guys who do it like that. Most of them are resets, if you know what I mean. But now, I'm even surprised I say this, but good news from America, USA. I'm so glad to see this. The US is sending Ukraine 3,350 extended range attack munition, or ERAM, I don't know how you call it in English, air-launched missiles with delivery starting in weeks per Wall Street Journal. The thing is, Ukraine is buying them. The cost of these missiles is $850 million, so it's almost $1 billion weapons purchase deal, which is good because profits are written into it. So for American people who maybe think that there should be profits, there are. Ukraine is paying, or actually European countries are paying for it, but there are profits written into it, so America is making good buck with it. I'm all good with it as long as these weapons keep flowing to Ukraine and they're able to defend themselves. These, of course, are attack missiles, but to attack into Russia with these missiles, Ukraine would need Trump's permission. We don't know if he has given it yet or not, but it wouldn't be a big of a problem because they can use them on occupied Ukrainian territories. And if the Ukrainians want to attack into Russia, they can just use their own drones and missiles, because now they can actually produce them, and they are producing them. Low-cost cruise missiles reportedly have a range of up to 250 miles and a CEP of less than 10 meters, which makes them very accurate, and a warhead of 500 pounds, which makes them very big. Kaboom! Wonderful. It's really good news. If the price of weapons from the United States to Ukraine means that Ukraine or European Union has to pay the profits to the US, or like have to pay the marked up price, then I'm all for it, as long as these weapons keep flowing to Ukraine, because that's the benchmark of Ukrainian freedom, and that's directly connected to my country's freedom. So for me, for my country, for the Baltics, for Poland and Ukraine, just the best thing is if United States keeps the weapons deliveries open. But now, my friends, take out your oil refinery bingo cards. Russian oil refineries, a lot of them were turned into barbecues in the last 3 days. We're gonna go through all of them, and we're really beginning to see the effect. It's beautiful. There are shortages, fuel shortages in Russia in different places, and I love it. First of all, we begin with Syzran oil refinery. This was attacked on the 15th of August and now again, so 2 times already. This shows you the Ukrainian strategy now. They attack it, they watch how it works, if it continues to refine oil or if it's fully destroyed, the catalyst tower or the cracking units. If the Russians are able to repair them fast and if the crude keeps flowing in, if the oil products keep flowing out, they attack it again. In the example of this Syzran oil refinery, they attack it twice already in August because they want to render it completely inoperable. And they have done it with some other refineries already, which just completely have halted production. Which is beautiful because, you know, they halt production, but we don't see the effect. We do, my friends, we do. There are some spicy videos today from Russian areas with insane gasoline prices. But before we get to that, here is an Ust-Luga oil refinery and gas production facility. Why is this such a big deal? Well, you can see the drone here, of course. No air defense, no nothing. Why is it such a big deal? I want to show it to you on a map because of the location, of course. I show you where Ust-Luga is. I zoom out, it's right here. I zoom out, it's only 20 kilometers from the Estonian border, 25 kilometers. Look, which is, I'm gonna rough it here, but about 10, 15 miles from Americans. Look at that. I'm here in Tallinn. I'm right. You can see me on the map, on this map. I live in Tallinn. Now it's about 2 hours to Narva, to the Estonian-Russian border. And from there, it's about 10 minutes to Ust-Luga or 15 minutes. So this explosion happened very close to my home country, to Estonian borders. And look how far Ukraine is. These drones flew. Nice little flight here, 600-700 kilometers, bada bing, bada boom, to Ust-Luga. And it doesn't end there, because if you look at it, the Russian second biggest city, St. Petersburg, very close to Ust-Luga. Let's see what's the distance here. 100 kilometers from St. Petersburg. So these drones that flew from Ukraine, you know, all the way from Ukraine to St. Petersburg, to Ust-Luga, they grounded all the commercial flights in St. Petersburg, which means one of the planes, Russian commercial flights, which were flying to Russia, and they were not allowed to land in St. Petersburg, they were forced to land in Estonia. Russian commercial flight, it's such a weird situation. We don't allow Russian airplanes to land or even fly over Estonia. But now they were forced to land, otherwise they would have just fell out of the sky with all of the people because they were running out of fuel. So of course we allowed them to land. But since Russians are not able to come off the plane because they're not allowed on the Estonian soil like that, they had to wait on the runway inside the plane for hours and hours. But even that's not it, my friends. All of this striking into Ust-Luga from Ukraine, these drones were flying, as you can see, from south to north axis straight to Ust-Luga. But see this Estonian biggest lake, which we share with Russia, Lake Peipus or Peipsi in Estonia. And you see halfway across it, the border goes. And about 5-6 a.m. today morning in Mustva, in this city right here, settlement, Estonian settlement, the border guards noticed on their radars a drone coming from the Russian side, which then landed and exploded on Lake Peipus, about 5-6 kilometers from the Estonian border in the middle of the lake. So somewhere here, we can presume it might have been a Ukrainian drone that was en route from Ukraine to Ust-Luga to strike this oil refinery, but it somehow fell down right here. Perhaps it was the Russian electronic warfare jamming, so it fell into the lake. We don't know, but we know it landed and exploded on the lake with debris flying all over. So a lot happened near Estonian border today. I mean, we hosted the Russian plane, forced to host it. A drone landed almost in Estonia. 20 clicks from Narva. There's an Ust-Luga oil refinery which went up in flames. I'm pretty sure people in Narva in the higher places could see the smoke column. I mean, it was buzzing today in Estonia on the Estonian border. And I'm not finished with this Ust-Luga oil refinery and gas production facility, because this video is from there and it's magnificent. I hope I can show it to you, but this fireball, man, it lights my soul up. If I was a whatever Russian person, I would barbecue my sausages right there on this fire. I mean, this is a free barbecue given to you by Ukrainian state. It's wonderful. What a beautiful little mushroom cloud. And of course, here's the aftermath. It's a thick column of smoke, which I'm sure Russians in Narva, in Estonia, living there, looking at their homeland, motherland, could see it burning because it's only 20 clicks away. So they had a beautiful sight for them. And let's just, for a very quick moment, look exactly what was struck. Specifically, the cryogenic gas condensate and gas fractionation. Damn, these words. A gas fractionation unit has critical damage. This is the heart of the gas processing complex. Rectification and separation of components take place here, which are then either exported or used as raw material for the Baltic gas chemical complex. This is one of the largest gas processing plants in Europe. According to estimates, the Ust-Luga complex will be able to process up to 45 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually, which is it's massive. Produce 13 million tons of LNG, 3.6 million tons of ethane. So yeah, they damaged the heart and brains of the refinery. And if this refinery after a week will continue its operation, I'm sure Ukrainians will have another present ready for it. We also know which kind of drones were used, because Ukrainian long-range drone producing company called Firepoint produces this strong drone called FB1. And this is the photo we saw before the big kaboom. I mean, this is the video. Look, I mean, it's this very same drone. Look at the tail, look at the fixed wings, look at the shape. It is this drone. It's FB1 long-range strike UAV produced by Firepoint, the same company that produces the FB5 Flamingo. Wow, wow, wow. But my friends, as I outlined for you, the drones flew to Ust-Luga and St. Petersburg, but that's not it. In the top shop style. But wait, there's more, because they also flew to Moscow. All over Moscow, in different parts of the city. Ukraine sent hundreds of drones out. It was beautiful to watch. Nothing like a good old Russian telegram panic for the morning next to your coffee. Alright, but what's the actual effect of these oil refinery strikes, the bingo? Well, it's right here. This is a Crimea in a gas station. Prices are outrageous. The gasoline and diesel prices. But what's more like it is you can see the zeros flashing on the octane 95. We have the 95 gasoline here in Estonia also. It's supposedly 91 in America, 91 octane in the US. It's the same one. For some reason, they're different names. But it's zero, it flashes zero because it's run out. This gas station is fully empty of it. It's just weird always to see a country like Russia having gasoline shortages. But that's what Ukrainian sanctions do, direct sanctions. I'm talking about drones. Here, and in this next comparison, we go to Moscow, Vladivostok. How different are the fuel prices? In Moscow, it's 60 rubles per liter. In Vladivostok, it's 80 rubles per liter. It's A92, A95, A100. These are different octane numbers of gasoline in Russia, and the prices differ 33, 32, and 17%, which is pretty massive. Why? Because Vladivostok, being one of the largest far eastern Russian cities, is 5,000 kilometers from the westland Russia, and they're only connected with the railway. So all of these gasoline refined in the west will have to be transported by railways to the east, which adds a lot of time, a lot of wear and tear on the locomotives, especially now when Ukraine is attacking the refineries. I mean, the logistical chain for the oil products to flow from Moscow area to Vladivostok, for example. It's a massive headache for the Russians. And yeah, there are queues in Vladivostok also in gas stations, as you can see. And the prices here, I mean, 100 octane number gasoline is almost 100 rubles, which in Russian terms, it's outrageous. It's an astronomical price for them. And now, my friends, I'll read you a conclusion to this oil refinery bingo. It gives you everything you need to know about it, because there's something I haven't yet talked about, which is that the majority of Russian oil refineries were built by Western companies with Western parts. Check it out. Record high fuel prices along gas station lines in Russia are a result of sustained Ukrainian drone attacks on refineries. In 2025, Ukraine changed tactics from single strikes to repeated attacks on the same facilities, preventing them from being repaired. This has taken up to 14% of Russia's processing capacity offline during the summer. Wow, 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 ooh la la. These drones, with a range of 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers, are reaching refineries deep inside Russia's European territory, as well as export terminals and pipelines. The attacks exploit a key vulnerability. Russian refineries rely on Western-made equipment, software, and catalysts, supplies of which have been cut off since 2022. Replacing these specialized parts with Chinese alternatives is difficult and inefficient, meaning that a single strike can cause months of downtime. And I can just imagine these Ukrainian FB-1 long-range drones flying over Ust-Luga being like, "King of the castle, king of the castle." Nice. Adding to the crisis, Russia's refineries are located in the western part of the country, while demand is growing in the Far East. The long supply chains to eastern regions are already strained, and now many major refineries are within range of Ukrainian drones. This poses a massive air defense challenge, as it's nearly impossible for Russia to protect all of its refineries. As a result, Russia's once strong oil and gas industry has become a major point of vulnerability. Ooh la la. Wonderful way to end this oil refinery bingo part. But now, my friends, I'm so glad. Last time I only had 3 names. Well, now I have 5. I'm gonna butcher someone's names to oblivion, to the orbit and back. We begin with the largest new monthly member on Buy Me a Coffee. And you made a new record, my friend. Jimmer 51. Thank you, Jimmer. You really helped me out a lot here. Maria and Sydney Raiford. Hey, we got a couple here. Congratulations on your coupledom. Thank you for supporting. Rovan Vate. Leslie Dobson. Kevin Albritton. And some people say, Artur, I think it's Dr. Leslie and not DR. And I say numbers in the start. It's like, I think you accidentally said, hey, no accidents here. I mean to butcher everything I say in this segment. Also, if you want a Rehi patch, I will send it to you. For example, this member sent me a letter. Could I get a patch? And I said, yes. Where should I send your patch to? I will send it out immediately if you want one. Just become a monthly member. Thank you, my friends. And now, my friends, to make your Monday, because I know some of you might be going to work or coming from work, whatever you're doing, you're gonna need this positive boost. So I'm gonna give you 1 minute of absolute heaven. Look at this video. The introduction to Russia. I'm not gonna explain anything here. The video speaks for itself, my friends. It's time to move to Russia because they have everything we don't here in the West. And that's true because some of this stuff we actually don't have. Thank God. This is it, my friends, for today. As you can see, I really enjoyed myself, which I do. Every time I go and watch and research my news, it's like, whoa, I don't have to make any jokes about it. They write themselves. The oil refineries, the barbecues, the Russian soldiers that are going to be reset by their own commanders. I mean, it's all just like too easy to make fun of. But thank you for watching, my friends. Thank you for coming back time and time again. I'll be back for you on Wednesday in 2 days. So until then, Slava Ukraini and bye-bye. Thank you InVideo AI for sponsoring today's video.